Hey there, it's Carla Lynn Hall from Marie Laveau. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to design your own ritual. Now, I call this the Queen Up Club or the Queen Up Ritual because I feel like it's those times in our lives where we want to level up, we want to go to another level in our lives. And this is just the way that I use to, or at least one of many ways that I use to create magic. Let me put on my earbuds to make sure that everyone can hear me. All right, so my method of creating magic, it incorporates the law of attraction, new thought, it's magic, psychology, creativity, and it's worked in my life and the lives of others. So I'm really excited to share, how I do what I do. Now, and the most important thing that I want to tell you about my method is that it is belief agnostic. And what that means is this method of manifesting can be used with any belief system. And that includes Christianity, Hoodoo, Wicca, and even atheism. And the reason for this is because the power of transformation is within you. And it doesn't require that you do anything outside of your personal belief system. So in my years of study and practice, I've discovered that all belief systems can create magic. And I define magic as the power to create change according to your will. So my method is not going to get into any specifics as far as deities to worship or prayers to recite. If you already have a specific belief system that you follow, please feel free to modify this method to your needs. Now, if on the other hand, you're an atheist, you can still use this method to change your life because there's a lot of psychology going on here. And the world that we know is created of energy, and that can be directed to your will. So you do not have to be a subject to fate. You are not at the mercy of fate. You have the power to create the things that you desire. So I also feel like this Queen Up formula, Queen Up spell, Queen Up ritual, whatever you want to call it, it's process therapy. And that means it's a process. Sometimes it might take you more than one ritual, more than one practice to get what you want, but you're going to learn something and you will adjust accordingly. It's a process. So certain things you can get quickly, and other things, depending on how big it is, it might take you some time because there might be some inner work that you need to do. So without further ado, we're going to get started. Okay, so first thing, you want to decide your intention. What is it that you want to create? So for the ritual that I'm going to create today, I came up with a goal. I wanted to create $3,000 in this month. This is $3,000, October 2019. So that was my goal. I had been temping for a while, and I was able to take this month off to help my fiance, and he's doing some other work, and which enabled me to not work this month. So I thought, okay, I'm really going to be able to focus on my stuff. So one of those things that I'm focusing on is, as many of you know, is my t-shirt. So we're sponsoring this episode, or this video is being sponsored by my t-shirt business. Here we go. I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that witch. Now, if you can see here, that is the New Orleans voodoo queen, Marie Laveau. I've been seeing a lot of shirts with the Hocus Pocus characters. I've never seen that movie. I happen to like the Practical Magic movie myself. But I wanted to see someone of color. I wanted to see a witch of color. And since I hadn't seen one, I said, okay, I will choose Marie Laveau. And for any of you creativity people out there, the picture that I used, it is public domain, so I am not stealing from anyone. And, I want to keep my karma clean, And then, but I know also that not everyone follows Marie Laveau, and that is totally fine. So I also created just a 1000% that witch t-shirt. Ta-da! So say you're coming from some other belief system and you want to still rock that, or maybe you just want to have it for Halloween, rock it for Halloween with a witch hat or something. You could totally do that. So both of those shirts are available at marielizzo.com. And I'm going to have a link for all of the things that I talk about in this video down below. Okay, so my goal is, as I said, my intention was to raise $3,000 this month. So today is like October 7th. So I'm not even starting on the 1st, but I know that this is possible. So you're going to, you know, if you are paying attention throughout this month, you're going to watch me do it. So, so first, decide your intention. That's step one. Now, after that, the second step is to prepare yourself. And when you prepare yourself, that means you're raising your energy, you're getting your mind right, you're getting your body cleansed and in the right frame of mind to do magic. I mean, if you are, you know, sometimes when you're like, you have to have something right now, you don't necessarily have a lot of time to prepare. But when you do, I totally recommend that you do this on, you know, that you have been able to get some sleep and that you're rested and that you have the energy to really put into this, you know, into this ritual, into this process. Because if you're, you know, if you get out of it what you put into it. So I think this part is like really important. So for example, and these methods, like these next steps that I tell you, you can do. Well, this is the order that I chose to do them in, but I understand not everyone is going to do them the same way, and that's fine. Okay, so first one is meditation. So I want you to first, before you create your ritual, think about what it is that you want to accomplish, and you know, just think about it and see if there's any divine downloads or any intuitive hits that come to your mind that you think, oh yes, I want to do that. As a matter of fact, I hadn't planned to do this video until 5:10 this morning. It's now 9:42 a.m. And I've been working on it ever since I woke up, because I woke up with an idea to do something. And it's very important to follow your intuition, because your intuition will give you, you know, ideas that you can act upon. And if you don't act upon it, nothing will happen. So when you put your intention out there, listen to those intuitive ideas that you get and follow through. So meditation. Next one, create a sacred space. So create a space where you will do your work. Will you do it in, again, we'll use an altar. I'm in my little breakfast nook in my kitchen. And what makes this area sacred at the moment, I have a small candle and my incense going right there. So you can maybe see the smoke out there, but I'm creating a sacred space, and I'm telling my subconscious and or anyone else who's listening, or, you know, ancestors, that I am about to do some magic shit right now. Like I'm going to make something happen. And that is how I am letting myself know, the universe, whatever deity that you follow, that we're about to start some shit right here. Okay, so after creating your sacred space, well, you know what? I also say cleanse your space. You can also cleanse your space before you do that. I should have put that first. But like I said, you can do this in whatever order comes to you, as long as you do it. Cleanse your space, you know, clear it of clutter, so you're not just working in mess. You want to have clear intention, and you want to have clean space. So let's see, meditation, cleanse your space, create a sacred space upon your clean space. Then what I do after that, I did a spiritual bath. Now I'm really excited about this one. This morning, I don't even have a bathtub, but I have a shower. So what I have done is I purchased recently the soap. Can you see that? Rich as Fuck soap. It's an intention soap that I purchased from the Conjure Goddess, and it smells like money. It smells great. And if you notice, there's like a big old bay leaf here. And if you do know anything about herbs and what their significance are, bay leaf represents abundance. And I will give you a link to this Rich as Fuck intentional soap. So I took a shower, and it smells so good. I took a shower in this soap, and and I should also mention, this soap that the Conjure Goddess sent, also came with play money. So I mean, I know it's not real because there's like markings on it, but it looks really good. See how the lines on this side, you know that it's not real and you can't spend it, but it looks really authentic in a lot of ways. Look at that. This is really cool. So my intuition gave me the idea to also incorporate these dollar bills in my ritual. So I'll tell you what I do about that soon. But anyway, but this came with the Rich as Fuck intentional soap. So I was talking about taking a spiritual bath. So meaning bathe yourself. I took a shower and I listened to a song. By the way, I listened to Dinero, the song Dinero by J-Lo with Cardi B. And it's talking about money. We just want the money. And I was thinking about that as I was taking my shower. I was just, thinking about what I want to accomplish this month. And I want to sell t-shirts. I want to sell different, I want to sell a spell kit, a ritual kit. And so my goal is I want to make money. Like I'm very clear on what I want. And by the way, my intention, I came up with $3,000. It's not just a willy-nilly number. Some people might come up with any old number, but I wanted to use a number that covered my expenses for this month. And that way I know that it's something I really want. If I were to say $10,000, but I didn't really necessarily have a use for it, my brain might mess with me. But I know that I need that $3,000 at the very least to cover what I need to live. Therefore, that's the number I'm using. So, but you can use whatever number works for you, but be intentional with your intention, with whatever it is that you want to achieve. So I took my spiritual bath, or I bathed myself with Rich as Fuck, and I got my little dollars, my little Benjamins here. And then what I did was I air dried my body. So instead of toweling off, I also just let my body dry in the, outside the shower. And because the song, if I wanted to, I could have played the song over. But what I played instead was the song Level Up by Ciara. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Anyway, you get the idea. And I just danced while I dried my body, with the air. And that was just a really great thing. And the idea about air drying is just that I don't want to wipe that off. I want to keep that goodness in my skin. So by drying off by the air and also using that song, I am continuing to raise my energy. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep that energy going. And here we go. So let's see. So we meditate. Oh, then we do divination. Now, depending on what it is you want to do, like this spell here, this ritual here is focusing on money, but you might be wanting to attract a relationship, or you might want some kind of health challenge that you want to work on. And it's still very important that you use divination. You want to use some kind of method to see, okay, what do you need to know about, doing this particular ritual? Or if there's something else that you need to know, using like an oracle card or tarot cards, any kind of, particular spread, you do that just to get more in tune with your intuition. So I'm using the Vintage Wisdom Oracle card set by Victoria Mosley, and it's really beautiful cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do like a little divination right here live for you. You're not going to see it, but hopefully you'll just take my word for it, but I'm doing it totally from scratch. I'm going to, these cards are kind of big. I have a few different sets, but I just started using this one and I like it a lot. So I'm shuffling the cards, shuffling. And also, if you're not into, or if you don't know how to read cards yourself, you can ask a friend to help you. You could, go to someone else and have them do it for you, for a fee, however that works for you. So I'm just going to do, you're not going to see it here, but I'm cutting the cards in 3, and then I'm just going to pick one of these cards and see what it says. Ooh, okay. So the card that I chose is release card. So if you're just seeing this, you might think to yourself, okay, what does that mean to you? I'm just picking one card. If you want to do a more elaborate spread, you totally can. But for my purposes here, release. That means I need to release something. So I'm just going to go and read what it says here for release and see what it means for me, and I can, take something from that. Okay, so it says, like an apparition, the mystical oracle of release drifts weightlessly above the forest floor, draped in a billowing silk mantle. Blah, 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 blah. The night of a full moon is a favorable, da, 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 da. The presence of this card, that's really what I want to get to. The presence of this card highlights the need to let go, for example, in relinquishing the comfort of old habits or attachments to goals and future and outcomes. The unpredictability of the future, potential threats to our worldly identity, and our attachment to outcomes can all play a role in holding us back or keep us blinded to more appropriate opportunities. Notice these areas in your life and use the supportive energy of this liberating card to help you face and dissolve any influences preventing you from reclaiming your authentic power. Okay, so in the moment, I would say that the release card is telling me when I'm doing this spell, when I'm going for my intention, to stay open, like to release all of my preconceived notions, to just to let go, to not feel like, oh my God, to let go of the idea of maybe returning to a jobby job. This might be it for me. And but the idea is that you let go, or that I let go of anything that might be holding me back, such as fear like, oh my goodness, am I going to do this? Is this going to work? I can't believe I'm doing this in front of people. Release. That is what this card is about. So my lesson that I'm getting from this spread is release and let go and basically just do it and don't hold on to being stuck and getting stuck in your head. Sometimes we have an idea for something, but we don't want to do it. Like I have a friend who I was advising, and she was overthinking things or things that she wanted to do. But I said, you know what? You got to let it go. You got to make it happen. You can't just think about what it is that you want to do, but not do it. You have to, at some point, let it go and then let the universe work things out. So you have to release. So that is my card for the day. Okay, so that is the card for my intention. So let's see. So now that I know that, I'm going to start designing this ritual. I know this is the meat. This is the nut and bolts of everything. My whole Queen Up Club formula, it's a lot longer, and I will be offering that as a mini course. But in this video, I just want to focus on the ritual itself, because that's really what people want. They want get to the good stuff, and we will do that. But before we get to the good stuff, we still have to prepare ourselves. And we have to prepare ourselves, and we have to raise the energy in order to make it happen and make sure that our intentions are clear. All right, so when you want to design your ritual, you want to think about the colors. You want to think about what are the colors that you want to use. So we're talking money here, so green. So what I did was I purchased just a good old dollar store green candle. This doesn't have to be like anything fancy. And if you notice, my candle and my incense that you can't really see anymore is green. And I chose that for a reason, because I know that green represents money, wealth, abundance. So I made sure that I used green. So here's my green candle. So let's see. You can also, and also I'm using a candle itself, which is a visual element, so that for anytime I see it, when I see it burning, I know that, okay, I am putting some magic into action. So I'm using a candle for that. Other things you can use for visual elements, you can use like a letter of intention. You might want to, if you want to write a letter, letters of intention are really good because they also help focus you. I made a little seal for myself. So this is like the Queen Up ritual. So I made a Queen Up sticker thing that I made. Now I also made it into a sticker that I'm going to put on my candle, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So these are like my t-shirts here. So here's like the Queen Up, because that's what this represents. That's what this ritual is about. These are different t-shirts that I am selling, and my goal was make $3,000 in October 2019. Ta-da. So what I like to do, I make a little label. I like to use a label like white paper, a white label, and I will print it on there, but I don't have any at home. So I do have a clear label. So I'm going to improvise. And that's the other thing. That's the whole thing about intuition. You are improvising what comes to mind, because sometimes you won't always have the thing that is that you want. So instead, you are going to make, so you make do with what you have, and you listen to your intuition. Your intuition will say, well, okay, you don't have this, but you have that. So how about use that? So I'm making a label by sticking this piece of paper on a clear label. Now I know that this paper is kind of old, so we'll see. So it's gonna be kind of clouded, but it doesn't matter because I know what it is. I know what my intention is, and I'm just gonna making the getting the, there's like a little air bubble in there, so I'm just kind of straightening it up. But again, it's clouded, but this label is here and it's working. So what I do, I take my green candle, take my label, and I'm just going to stick it on this baby. All right, so this is a little larger than maybe it needed to be, but it still will work, and it's still fine. I can rub it in and make it a little darker. Anyway, you get the idea. But this is now my candle with the sticker on it. And you see how it's highly personal? It's highly personal because it's what I want. Like, you could definitely buy candles from other people, like the Conjure Goddess. She makes plenty of really great candles. She's got this beautiful candle now, the Triple Goddess. So anyway, I'm going to give you the link to her site. And not everyone wants to go this deep, and I understand that. But if you do like to do your own rituals, or you like to find something different, this is just another way to do it. So again, you can't really see it as clearly as I would like, but I know that it's a Queen Up ritual. And this is underneath that cloudy label. It looks like this. It says Queen Up Club. It has the shirts that I'm selling, and my goal of making $3,000 in October of this year. So the main thing is I know what my intention is, and I know that I put it here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to use an oil. Now this one I'm also very excited about. This here is Luxor. Let me see if you can see this a little better. No, wait, this side. Lux. Where's the print? Here we go. Wait. Okay. Luxor. And this is created by Bossy Bruja. If you have heard of her, she's also known as the Beyonce of oils, which is really cool. I really like what she's doing online. She's in both the Conjure Goddess and Bossy Bruja are on Instagram, and that's how I found them. So see, there's like so her oil, and if you notice, it also has bay leaves in it. Bay leaves represent the spiritual significance of bay leaves are wealth, and oh, it smells so good. Wealth, abundance, all these things. So what I'm going to do, I'm just keeping this simple. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the top of the candle. Not much. I don't need to use a whole bunch. I have a lot here, but hey, I'm sure I'll be using it a lot. And then I just rub it on there. Because you can go really serious, hardcore with your candle, but I'm just, putting a little bit of this oil on here. And whatever's left, I just put in my hair. It smells delicious. The way I see it, it smells like money. So I will be smelling like this all day. Oh, it's so great, so great, so great. Okay, so that is, let's see, so we have green for the color. We're using candle, which is a magical element. Let's see, what else? Other factors that are included. So I mentioned that I'm using psychology, and I'm thinking, see, there's this thing called neuro-linguistic programming. I know this sounds kind of like, what does this have to do with magic? It has a lot, because it's psychology that we're dealing with. We're talking about how to help ourselves using magic. And there are different things that are affected in our lives that by the things that we do. So things like visual, the things, some of us are affected very much by what we see. So seeing a candle, seeing a seal, that just, it's a reminder. Then there's auditory elements. What are the things that we hear? Some people are primarily affected by the things that they hear. Some people don't like to be in places that are really loud, or they have like a whole bunch of beeping noises because they're really sensitive. Now, if you're one of those people, you want to make sure that you incorporate sound and music in your ritual. So I'm a musician, by the way. So having music as part of my ritual is very important. So that's why I use the song Dinero when I took my spiritual shower. And when I was drying off, I was using the song Level Up by Ciara. So that way I'm incorporating songs that I really like, that make me feel really good, and that put me in the mindset of, we are going to do this, we're going to make this money. So you might use affirmations if you're auditory. You might have a theme song or a power playlist. These are just different things that you can use. Also, if you like to journal, some people like to like scripting, as in writing down your intention and what you want to see. That's actually auditory as well, because even though you see the words, you're also hearing inside your head, like what you're trying to accomplish. So kinesthetic elements, those are the things that you smell and you feel and you taste. Smell, taste, and touch. So essential oils, you know, I talked about the Luxor oil, you know, that is something that I feel, you know, or taking a shower, that's also kinesthetic. I smell, they smell so good. The shower that I took with the Rich as Fuck intentional soap also smelled great. And by drying it off, I could really just smell it as I was drying off. As you notice, I said I had the extra hair, I had the oil, and I put it in my hair. So now I'm going to be smelling like this all day. And different self-care activities, that's another way to like get into your body. Dancing, that's another way to get in your body. So that's another way to incorporate kinesthetic elements into your ritual. Let's see, last but not least, you can use whatever magical practices that you use when you're considering, you know, what you're going to create. For example, astrology and timing. We just had the new moon in Libra was recently, and so the moon is still waxing. So I'm trying to attract something to me. So I definitely want to create something while the moon is waxing. I'm a Capricorn. You see my thing here. So the Libra is my 10th house. 10th house is the career. So it's just a good timing for that. But if you're not into that, it's okay. But the more things that are meaningful to you, the more elements that are meaningful to you that you can incorporate in this ritual, the better. Let's see, earth, things like potpourri or flowers, herbs. From both of these, the oil and the soap, there are bay leaves. So that right there I have elements of the earth. And those are, you know, herbs, plants. And air, I have incense, candles, you know, so I'm incorporating fire, water, earth, air, and all of these different, in the ritual in one way or another. If you have a particular deity that you want to give a shout out to, you totally can. Libra is ruled by Venus, for example. So if you wanted to, you know, give some kind of offering for her, you could. Or if you're from a belief system that that includes your ancestor veneration, then you definitely want to, you know, make sure that your ancestors are helping you as well, that they are, you know, helping you from the other side. So again, if you do not use any of these elements, if any of these belief systems that I'm mentioning don't mean anything to you, don't use them. They're not going to mean anything to you. What's most important is that you are taking control over, you know, over your life, and you're using your personal magic to make something happen. So let's see, what else do I have here? So you create your ritual, and you know, then basically my ritual, the basic thing right here is going to be this candle. So I'm going to light this candle right now. Ta-da! So my Queen Up ritual has begun, and I will put it on my sacred space, on my altar, which is basically on top of my bookshelf, my filing cabinet. And every time I see it, I will be reminded that I am, I'm creating something. And if you were using a candle, for example, don't leave it unattended, please. Bad things happen when you leave stuff unattended, so don't. Let's see. What else would you do? You're creating a ritual. Yes. So take action. And this is another very, very, very important part of the ritual. There's a couple of ways to take action. Now, in the next 3 days, in the first 3 days of when you set your intention or when you start your ritual, I want you to pay really close attention to what ideas come up for you. Because one thing is, like, once you put something out there, you will start to receive, divine downloads, as I call them. You might get an idea to do something or to go somewhere. And when you get those intuitive hits, follow them. Like I said, I wasn't planning to do a video on this until this morning. I woke up at 5:10 this morning, and I've been going ever since to try to get everything together so, I could do this video. So the main thing is that you want to pay really close attention in the first 3 days, like what ideas are coming to you, and act on them. And then you might also get different little messages, that let you know that you're on the right track. Sometimes you might get a message that says you're not on the right track, but that's still good too, because it lets you know how close you are or how far you are from your goal. So just know that you want to pay attention to those things. Now, and by the way, speaking of intuition, if you're using like the Queen Up spell for a relationship, and you get like this idea to call somebody or sleep with somebody, that's not the case. It doesn't work that way, because you want that person to come to you. You want that person to be attracted to you. So it's more about the messages that tell you to do something that kind of puts things in motion. For example, years ago, before I was engaged, I was going through a dry spell. I didn't have any guys, like no one was calling. I couldn't get any dates, whatever. So when I did a ritual, I took action on the physical plane, on the mundane. I bought a pack of 12 condoms. That was my thought. I'm like, this is what I want. I want to be able to use these things. So the idea is that you take steps on this level. Like another one, if you are looking to get a job, for example, that means on the physical plane, you don't just do the ritual and just, walk away. You also update your resume. Maybe you get an idea. Someone says, hey, I heard about this this new position that's going on. And you're like, oh, really? Oh, tell me about it. So you're supposed to keep yourself on high alert for any messages of things that you can do to make your intention come through. So in those first 3 days especially, and it doesn't mean it's not limited to those first 3 days, but in those first 3 days, pay attention to any kind of messages that you get, any conversations that you have, anything that says, wait a second, this is something that I can do that will lead me closer to my goal. Let's see, what else? So you create your ritual and you take your actions, and at some point you've got to let go. Let go means you have to create space for your results. You just have to say, okay, my candle is burned, and I'll be burning this every day until it's done. And as it burns, or at least especially after it's done, you have to just let stuff happen. Meaning, don't start another candle, don't do another ritual until you kind of feel like the results of this one. Let this one come out. Let the spell breathe before you do something else. See what you learned. You want to give thanks, for this, because you're going to learn something whenever you do a ritual. You won't always get what you want, but you're definitely going to learn something, and you want to stay open to that lesson. And you want to give thanks. You want to give thanks to, whoever it is that you honor and that you worship. And you say, thank you so much for this lesson. Thank you so much for teaching me whatever it is that I needed to learn about the situation. And you adjust accordingly. So adjust accordingly means once the candle is done, and by the way, you don't have to use a candle. I happen to love candles. yours could be some other kind of, I don't know, you could just like write a letter, or some people have a plant. Like if they can't, for some people, they can't have any kind of, they have privacy issues and they can't just be burning candles. So some people I've seen, like they'll have a plant and they'll let the plant be the focus point of whatever it is. And so you don't kill the plant, you just keep the plant. Don't don't do anything to the plant, but water it and nurture it, because you're also nurturing and watering your intention when you do that. But when you get your results, or when you see something happens or doesn't happen, ask yourself, did this work the way I wanted it to? Did it not work? Why? What did I have to learn? The whole point is you want to adjust. As I mentioned earlier in this video, candle magic is a process therapy. Everything is a process. If you're trying to get a relationship, let's say, something happens that doesn't work out. What did you learn from that relationship? What did you learn from this particular situation that you have to work on to get to the relationship? Some people will, they want to meet their soulmate, but what if, you have like inner work that needs to be done first? You might need to get rid of your ex. You might need to say goodbye to the dude that is taking up your space and not, and blocking you from meeting that person that you want to be with. So it's about focusing on what you want to achieve, but also thinking about what is it that you can do or that you can let go of in order to make room for those things to happen. So that is basically the Queen Up formula, ritual, spell, whatever you want to call it, in a nutshell. And I hope that it can help you. And so I will be offering more of like a mini course on this with paperwork, or with PDFs and all kinds of information. But for now, I will have links below for all the little goodies that I mentioned during this video. So I guess that's it. That's me, Carla Lynn Hall from Marie Lazeau, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Greetings. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.